Roscoe, no, don't lick the couch.
Hi, my name is Roscoe. Welcome to my channel. I've taken over because ever since she made this dinosaur shirt for me, my fan mail is out of control, and obviously I'm the real star here. Christy is going to attempt, and you can't see my paws right now doing air quotes, but she's going to attempt to take back control and making a shirt for her to match me. By the way, ignore all the peanut butter on my face. I'm doing this on my own. And ignore the spoon of peanut butter in the shot. Okay, I'm eating peanut butter. I happily accept bribes. I'll see you at the end for our version of Mommy and Me that we're gonna change to Roscoe and Me.
Last time I made this happy little dog a dinosaur shirt. Be sure to click here or check out the description box to see that video. I didn't have enough of the dinosaur fabric left, so I'm using some of the blue fabric that was found in my mystery box. Be sure to check out that video as well. Here's a small clip. This is a navy colored, kind of like a jersey. That's cool. I like that one. It's a good one. And of course the dinosaur print, because I want to look just like this little guy. I folded the navy material in half to begin making a raglan style shirt from two different fabrics. I'm chalking around the outline and using my thumb as an anchor for the sleeve. Here's where I realized that I forgot to do the bottom. I like to pattern from clothes that I already own, which also makes it easier for a tutorial because you can just grab a similar style shirt. Remember to add the 1/2 inch seam allowance before you cut it out. I'm adding a little notch on each side in the seam allowance so that I can quickly tell that this is the back side of the shirt. Same thing for the front of the shirt. Fold the fabric in half as well as the shirt that you're patterning from. Chalk around the edges and use your thumb as the anchor for the sleeve portion. So I mentioned that this fabric came from a mystery fabric scrap box, and I'm noticing that there is some sort of odd white marking on it, even though I pre-washed it. Hopefully it won't be too noticeable, although obviously it's going to be. Now that the front and back pieces are cut out, let's move on to the sleeves. So a couple of things here. Make sure the stretch is going the right way. The fabric needs to be the stretchiest around the circumference of the arm rather than the length of the sleeve. So I fold it in half along the bias to create the most stretch. It's also a directional fabric, which means I need to be careful what way the wording is so that it won't be upside down. Once the fabric is placed correctly, chalk around the edges just like we did for the bodice pieces. Start first on the back of the sleeve. We'll need to do this twice to create, well, 2 sleeves. The back of the sleeve is slightly bigger to accommodate for the shoulder. Flip it over and line up the front of the sleeve to chalk around the slope of the front. Add seam allowance and then open it up so that you can adjust the front of the sleeve only. Do this to both fronts of the sleeves and add the notch to make sure you know which side is the back. Line up the 2 sleeves to the front, the ones without the notches, and then line them up right sides together and pin to sew. Now line up the back bodice piece to the back of the sleeves, the ones with the notches. Pin up right sides together and then sew along both sides. This is jersey material, so it shouldn't fray much. However, to get a nice professional finish, take it to your serger or do a zigzag stitch on your sewing machine. With the shirt still inside out, line up the sides through the sleeves, paying special attention to where the 2 fabrics meet. An extra step that I found helpful was to sew a basting stitch just a few inches to make sure the seams line up perfectly. Before sewing the rest of the shirt, double check to make sure. A progress check from Roscoe to make sure the shirt is going well and that I'm not giving him any more silly voices. Pin from the bottom of the shirt all the way through to the sleeves and then sew. When you reach the basting stitches, make sure you sew on the outside so that after you are happy with the way it looks, you can easily remove them. This is a rare time that my seam ripper was actually planned, and it wasn't because I messed up. Okay, so this part has math. In order for the neckband to lay flat, it needs to be smaller than the neck hole. Fold it in half and line up the sleeves at the seams. I got 15 inches for my boat neck shirt. Next, divide that by 5, which is 3. Then subtract 3 from 15 and multiply by 2. Lastly, add the 1/2 inch seam allowance. Don't ask me why it works, it's just something I found on the internet. My measurements came to 24.5 inches long by 1.5 inches wide. Face the ends right side together and sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Next, fold it in half with the wrong sides together. Sew along the raw edge with a zigzag stitch on your sewing machine. You'll need to divide the neckband into 4 equal quadrants. I like to mark the halfway points with pins, then match those together to find the quarters. Use the same method to find the 4 quadrants on the shirt. With the shirt still inside out, line up the 2 back pins together, then fold the neckband down so that the right sides are now together. Here is also where you want to be careful if you are working with a directional fabric. Remove one of the pins and then pin the 2 pieces together. Do that for all 4 quadrants, and only pin those 4 quadrants. Still using a zigzag stitch, line up the raw edges. Since the neckband is smaller, work with just the first quadrant and stretch only the neckband until it fits the size of the neck opening. Once you reach the next pin, repeat that process for the next quadrant, and then the next quadrant, and then the next quadrant. My amazing family got me the most thoughtful gift and designed these adorable tags that I can sew into my garments. I'll be adding my first one at the back of the neck. I absolutely love these. Thank you so much. I'm choosing to hem the bottom of the sleeves by first finishing the raw edges on my serger, then folding it up a 1/2 inch once for a zigzag stitch to maintain the stretch. You can also finish the edges with a double rolled hem by folding it over twice and sewing with a zigzag stitch. I fought and almost lost a battle to my serger when I tried to change the thread color. Sergers are not the easiest things to thread. However, I'm hemming the bottom of the shirt the same way as the sleeves by first serging the raw edges and then folding it up a 1/2 inch to sew with a zigzag stitch. This last step is optional. If you want to be done with the shirt now, you can. I'm just adding a line of stitching along the neckband to make sure that the neck seam lays flatter. I hope you've enjoyed this video on how to make a raglan style shirt, especially one that matches your dog. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for the final reveal. Okay, starting to get a little silly while I wait for my co-host to finish his union bone break. Don't do that. Or that. Okay, he's back.